Welcome back. Time to shine the light now on Navy women's lacrosse as the Navy women's lacrosse team travels to Baltimore this week to take on Loyola and obviously the Titanic Patriot League matchup of the year. The assistant coach Gabby Capuzzi, and in your time here at the academy, obviously rising to the level of associate head coach, just coaching with Cindy Timchel, what has that meant and what has that been like for you, especially from a career development standpoint?
Yeah, it is truly an honor to be coaching alongside the best. I've been learning something new every day since I've been here for 5 years. So, Cindy is great on the strategy in the office. We're practice planning and coming up with new innovative ideas, which I think is great for someone who's been around the game for so long, that she is always still coming up with new ideas, coming from the men's side or hockey, box lacrosse. We're always trying to do new things, and I think that's the biggest thing I've learned from her, is just how to be creative to get what drill we want and get the most out of what we want at every practice.
Can we put a Fitbit on her? And if we did, during a game, how many steps do you think we would register during a 60-minute game for Coach Timchel on the sidelines? 10,000?
She's easily getting the 10,000, definitely.
No, I mean, is her enthusiasm as infectious as it looks? Because during the course of a game, she has just as much energy, clearly, as the players who are running up and down the field. Is that infectious, though, through everybody within the program?
Definitely. Definitely contagious to see, when your coach is that hyped up and passionate about a play or a certain call. It definitely goes through the whole sideline, through our whole staff. I think that, just credits her to her success over the years of how passionate she is about lacrosse and about winning.
All right. As I talk with Marie Valenti, and I've talked with Navy players through the years, this game does not do any favors to the defensive end of the field, as you well know, with you coaching the defense. But how do you get those players to remain confident, but also, look at the game from a standpoint, look, we can stop these great offensive players, but here's what we have to do it. Because right now this game does not do any favors to the defensive players.
Yeah, lacrosse in general isn't always fun for defense. What I love this year about our defensive unit is the buy-in and their passion to get better every day. So we have a pretty young defensive squad,
Sure.
With Marie being the only returning starter. But this defensive unit has really bought into every game plan. And I think we just take this next game just as we have the last ones. We're going to have our strategy. They're bought into it, and we're working every day before or after practice, to iron out those kinks of the game plan.
For you all as a team to see the response since the Boston College game, because you don't know how each team will react. You all have had a terrific program. Good players leave, good players develop. But the response since that Boston College game, are you all as a group very satisfied with the way the team has responded since then?
Definitely. We've had different leaders step up every game, which I think just shows the culture of our program and how close they are, the chemistry on and off the field. So the response has been great. It doesn't always have to be a senior to get the draw and go down and score 3 in a row. We've had freshmen do it. So it's really just fun to see how they're coming together, getting to know each other better on the field, and really playing for each other and unselfish.
Obviously, you've been around this game for a while. To see a young lady from Apple Valley, Minnesota, Issaquah, Washington, doing things now to affect the game, what does that say about the growth of the game? Because here are two players that have been able to step in as young players from not necessarily lacrosse hotbeds and help a top 12 program in the country be successful.
Yeah, it really is amazing to have those West Coast girls on our program. But to credit them, it's all about their work ethic. Both Nicole and Reagan are out at practice probably an hour to 45 minutes before, working on shooting. I work with Reagan on draw controls. We go early to every game to work on that. So it's really their work ethic and their will to want to get better.
I mean, literally, I don't care what you call the technique. I call it the Statue of Liberty technique. Her ability with one arm to just go up there and control the ball. I mean, it's hard enough to get it with two, let alone to see her do it as consistently as she is with one. Obviously, terrific size. There's no question about it. That helps. But the fact that she's almost has mastered that technique, how does one do that as fast as she is adapted here on the college level?
Yeah, it is great to see that. And obviously, as a coach, I always think we can get better at
Sure,
it.
sure.
But Reagan does have an ice hockey background. So she has those quick wrists, strong forearms. And she took every draw throughout her high school career, being the best player in Minnesota. So, but she is out every day. We work together to get quicker on the wrists, to get stronger, and then just to put the whole package together on our draw unit. So really her work ethic and enthusiasm, to win every draw.
Obviously, coming up this week, let's face it, it's one of the premier matchups on your schedule every year. What is it about your program and Loyola's that have allowed them to be consistently good, and every time you all see each other, there's usually something large on the line?
Yeah, I think for us, when we step out against Loyola, it's just another game. And we come together as a family with that culture we've talked about and that we've built. And for us, it's just stepping out and being ready that no matter who's in front of us, that we're ready to take care of the little things and putting the little things together for the big picture.
Is that easier said than done, though, in terms of making it just another game?
Yes. I mean, these interviews, the press, inside lacrosse, everything
Sure.
we see, there's everything on Twitter, Instagram. We have former high school teammates playing against each other. So there's a lot of things that heighten it. So as coaches, we're trying to focus. It's all about Navy. It doesn't matter who we're playing, what name's on the front of their jersey. It's all about Navy.
Finally, you mentioned the word earlier, culture. In terms of program, Navy is still relatively in its infancy overall in terms of a program. But what has it been about in this short amount of time that has allowed you all to build this kind of culture where now the expectation every year is to compete for a national championship?
Yeah, I think being Navy, our team goes through different things before they even actually step on the lacrosse field through plebe summer. And that relationship as a team and that bond starts early on July 1. So that starts building our culture right from there. And then what I've seen over the past 5 years is just that will to want to get better individually and then building that chemistry. So like I said, we have girls out there an hour and a half before practice just working on those individual skills together. I think that's really has been the glue to help raise our culture and elevate our game.
All right, appreciate the time. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.
All right, Navy Associate Head Coach Gabby Capuzzi joining us here on the Navy Sports Magazine.